definitely check with this local bookstore first, by all means. This is a compilation of 365 text scores, not traditionally notated music, but rather almost poems in many ways, some with lovely graphics that celebrate Pauline Oliveros, a teacher who began this practice of deep listening. I was reading some of her definitions of that today, and essentially it's a mindful approach to creatively noticing the sounds that are in our lives, in our world, the sonosphere, as she called it. And it is personal to each person, but there's a real sense of community development. In the film about her, which is titled Deep Listening, the Pauline Oliveros story, she says in an interview, I never tried to build a career, I did try to build community. And I dare say that those of us who've worked with her can attest to that success that she did, and such a blessing. So tonight we have the three ensembles coming together, all of whom have close connections to deep listening and to Pauline. The Pet the Tiger, Edward Shocker, and Sukio Kane.
Other way around.
Sukio Kane and Edward Shocker.
No, they're Thingamajig.
Oh, I'm sorry, they're Thingamajigs. Well, one way or the other. Anyway.
Pet the Thingamajig.
Pet the Thingamajig.
Pet the Thingamajig.
And followed by that's Thingamajig's performance group, followed by the Cornelius Cardew Choir, of which I'm one of the co-founders and honored to be directing. That's with Yana. I'm blanking on everyone's last name. Yana and Lori and Mara and David and myself. And then we do have actually Pet the Tiger, which is closing the evening. And I'll let you introduce folks when you all are up for that. The choir robes, also connected with all of this enterprise, are from our co-founder of the choir, this Bob Marsh, who's now living in Colorado. He took stencils from Anna Halprin's deck and created these patterns. So there's a lovely weaving together of performance art in the Bay Area. Many of the scores in this book are by people I've had the pleasure of teaching and working with over the years. And tonight we'll do one score by Pauline and then three scores that are from the book. And you'll hear other scores that we'll do that are also from the book and some that are new tonight. So to start, I want to begin with the tuning meditation. You may well have encountered this before. This was from 1980. There are several versions, but this is the one we'll do. I'll read the score to you. Using any vowel sound, sing a tone that you hear in your imagination. After contributing your tone, listen for someone else's tone and tune to its pitch as exactly as possible. Continue by alternating between singing a tone of your own and tuning to the tone of another voice. Introduce new tones at will and tune to as many different voices as are present. Sing warmly. It's sometimes we can sing warmly even in the Bay Area. But questions at the moment? I'll try to be a good facilitator, modeling that right. So.
I don't see any notes in that book. Where are the notes?
Exactly, the notes. As John Cage famously said, that the notation is not the music; the music is the sound. So his friend Pauline put that into action as well. So use any vowel sound, your choice. Sing a tone that you hear in your imagination. After you've sung that tone, listen for someone else's tone and match that one as exactly as you can. And continue the piece by alternating those two states of listening and contributing, and matching and contributing. And so we'll do this for exactly the right amount of time. We'll find out what that is. So I recommend breathing together and then exhaling, singing a note. Well done. Thank you. So the first of the ensembles, we are an ensemble, but is the Thingamajig's performance group. So
Right, thank you,
Edward
thank
and
you,
Suki, thank you very much.
Hey, David,
Yeah, of course.
maybe use these 3 bells here.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like?
No, that's him. Those are them.
Just give me 3 seconds to.
Yeah, and I will say we're gonna play 3 scores. One of them Edward's because he's here and he's in the book.
Yeah.
The other before that we'll play Gelsey Bells score. We met Thingamajigs did a residency with Thing NY, or I don't know if they're called Thingney.
Thingy NY, I think.
Yeah.
You
want some more
options?
No, this is gonna work out great.
Because there's more bells.
I see that. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Have bells.
So Gelsey is a great vocalist. So she's near and dear to us. And then our other collaborator, Kevin Corcoran, percussionist. He's global traveling right now, is he not? Maybe
He's
Beijing.
in China.
Beijing. He's also in the book. So we'll start with his piece called Eyepiece. Whenever you want to do that, ever.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Solo?
You need a couple moments. I have this idea for how to do this piece all of a sudden.
Great. Then
Yeah.
do it. I'll join Kelsey's unless you want.
Oh,
You
okay,
want-
okay.
Or do you
Well,
want
what
me to?
you could
You
do,
tell me I can use a bell too.
yeah, you can hold like maybe 2 of these at the same time.
Perfect.
And if you're following along at home, it's Kevin Corcoran Eyepiece, which we will begin right now. Just come towards me with a great clatter.
Okay, this is ready for Gelsey's.
Great. Okay, great. Oop, is that gonna
It won't
catch
be.
anything on fire?
No, nothing will catch on fire
Yay!
unless you sit on it. The next piece is that I participated or gave for this project called Suzu no Hibiki, and when I submitted the score, they're text scores, and I was thinking, well, Chinese characters, that's text, right? But apparently it wasn't. No, they're characters, that's not text. So if you see the book, they published the directions to the score, but they didn't actually publish the score.
Well,
Oh, well, we do have the Japanese characters in the book.
Yes.
But-
Right.
Oh,
But
yes.
this was more of a
right.
yeah. So it was more.
Even more
This
beautiful.
was
Yes.
I thought was the text, but I guess most people cannot read that. So
Would you read the score to us though? It's such beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
even what's what it's published is fine.
well, I will be chanting it, but the text. Well, I don't have the translation, but I can read the Japanese. Oh, yes.
It's not that I don't trust your Japanese. Dozo.
ありがとうございます。This is I read a series called Norito Scores, which are based on Shinto prayers. And this one I just felt like really resonated with me for this project. It's called Suzu no Hibiki. It's freely interpreted for any voice or instruments. And the text, I'll read it. Furi narasu Suzu no Hibiki ni tama michite. Mitama no fuyu o iya kiko shimese. That's that. It's old, very old Japanese. You don't really speak this way. But it means my spirit overflows with the resounding and the shaking of Suzu bells. So it's very Shinto. Shinto is this very physical kind of movement they do. And I just felt like this really fit this whole project. So we'll play that now. Me. Thank you. What's that? Thank you, everyone. We'll take down, and then next we'll have.
Leave your
Cornelius.
instruments so that you can play Dream Scene with us.
Sounds great.
Okay.
And audience participation piece next.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Beautiful. They're options. In the courses that we teach through the Center for Deep Listening at RPI, which is in Troy, New York, we have a global classroom. We've been using Zoom technology for a long time, and it's such a pleasure and a boon, especially in these times, to have that connection with other human beings around the world, and I almost say beyond. The next score we'd like to do with you is one by Morten Stenstrup, who is one of my students in a couple of the courses. Morten lives in Copenhagen, Denmark, and he describes himself as a psychotherapist, musician, and deep listening certificate holder. He facilitates workshops and retreats and teaches at the Rhythmic Music Conservatory. It seems also useful to mention that there are at least 3 of us in the room that have our certification to teach in the deep listening program, and that's Yana Chiganova, David Samus, and myself. Am I seeing anyone else? Various ones of us have been through various of the deep listening courses. If you'd like to know more, I'm delighted to talk with you about it later, or you could certainly ask any of my comrades here as well. So Morton's piece, like many of these, is involved in reflective memory, and this is titled The Inherited Time of Hours. It's an individual or group meditation. I'll read this to you at least twice. Take a long moment to memorize a dear person's, preferably parent or grandparent's voice. When this is clear, if you have a memory of them singing, listen to this memory. Otherwise, oralize the person sounding a long tone in your mind. When a signal is given, sound a sound in the spirit of the dear person. Repeat the tone several times. Gradually transform this to your own sound. So again, take a long moment to memorize a dear person's, preferably parent or grandparent's voice. When this is clear, if you have a memory of them singing, listen to this memory, so internally. Otherwise, again in your mind, oralize the person sounding a long tone in your mind. When a signal is given, sound a sound in the spirit of the dear person. Repeat the tone several times. So I'll chime to begin, and then I'll chime again as the signal for us to sound. Thank you. Beautiful. Our applause is appropriate, I think. Next we have the Cornelius Cardew Choir. We were founded on May Day in 2001 when a group of us came together and realized there was real interest in experimental vocal practice here. And so we've been at it ever since. On the summer solstice at the Chapel of the Chimes in Oakland, we participate in the Garden of Memory, and this year we'll be doing a 4-hour performance of Pauline's Heart Chant, to which you are welcome to attend and join with us. There's a lot of other things to hear and see as well, but we'll be at the Chapel of Quietude on the upper level. And so we have several pieces for you this evening. I actually need to step back and get an instrument that I left in my bag, but I'll invite the choir to come on up. Thank you.
Tom will let us know.
Do you want to be there? Do you want to be here? Do you want to be there? Do you want to be on the front? Or do you want to be back?
I can be on the front. I'm
You're
good.
good. Okay.
What are we playing first, Tom?
We're doing 9% for parking.
Oh, we are doing 9% for parking. Okay. Let me get a
Okay, so
flute.
that's first. Okay, so we're a trio. We're on
Did you?
one.
I have attention issues. Did you already say something about how radical text scores are? Why is this like such
Well,
a?
no, I don't think I did, and it's useful. I mean, there's the whole history of music notation is a peculiar one, as is the notation of any language, because it's how do you convey in symbols what something sounds like. And many cultures around the world have developed specific music notation systems. And in the West, we're used to seeing the 5 lines with the treble clef or the bass clef or other clefs and notes which are there. In other places, for example, my wife, who's a shakuhachi player, the music is notated in a syllabary, tell you, more like saying, writing do, re, mi, fa, so forth. Text scores are literally text. And Pauline always commented that it's harder to write, to convey in text what you want than a decided upon musical notation in Western notation, because we think we know what we're doing. With this, we have a little more of a don't know attitude, which I think is part of the radical help
It's a
about that.
feature, not a flaw.
Yes,
Right? That
exactly.
There's
It's a
some
feature, not a bug.
ambiguity in what sound will happen.
Exactly.
And
My
how-
favorite thing
and
about
how
it.
one interprets it.
Yeah,
Yes,
and my favorite thing
even
about
more
it is
so.
it's radically non-hierarchical, right? You don't have to read some special language or go to school and learn some special form of notation. These scores are open for all of us to meditate with, and I thought that was a pretty radical act of her.
Yeah, exactly. And this grows in part out of, these are called sonic meditations, and in part grows out of her work with the Femina Ensemble when she was teaching at UC San Diego in the, I guess it would have been mid-70s, and she wanted participatory work that anyone could be a part of. So we're anyone. Here we are. The piece I contributed to the collection is titled 9% for Parking. And here is the direction. We'll do a slight variation on this one. Select a partner. Sit, or in this case stand, back to back, about 3 feet apart so that you are not touching and cannot see each other. Pick a number of simultaneities to experience. 3 is a good starting goal. We'll do 3 tonight. Sound isolated short sounds of medium loudness. Allow several seconds of silence between your individual sounds. When your sound starts simultaneously with the other participant, hold your breath, hold your note for approximately the length of one breath. Hold your breath. Remain silent for a few seconds. Continue the process until you have experienced the desired number of simultaneities. So the subtitle is Telepathic Duets. So,
But we're going to be a trio because we have an
yes,
odd
so we have a
number.
trio.
Do you want to spread out a little into the space so we can hear each other?
We
Do
could.
you want us down, or I can go down.
Yeah, I like
I can go down.
So they'll be looking in 3 different directions. We'll just be looking in 2 different
Do
directions.
right here, Lori?
And all of these scores also are available on the website for the Center for Deep Listening if you search for CDL at RPI. However, the book has the advantage of chapter introductions and grouping thematically, so I do recommend the book as well, but definitely you can participate in these by looking at the online versions. So here we go. It's much harder with 3 people than with 2. Thank you.
Do we make it? Do we meditate?
I think we did.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Our second piece is by Lord Bolster,
Okay, balance.
and this is titled "The Shape of Sound 2." Lori, do you want to read your score?
Yeah,
Would you read us your score, please?
Yeah, and I would just say that it's always interesting for me because coming as a visual artist who also works in music, I was really interested in thinking of the whole aspect of texture and sound as shape and as physicality in that sense. So that's why it's called The Shape of Sound. So the score is: stand in a relaxed position, eyes closed. Breathe slowly. Listen to the sounds around you. Focused attention on one sound in particular. Breathe in harmony with that sound. Listen to its color and texture. Imagine the shape of it. And then draw the sound with your non-dominant hand and your body. Draw the sound small, get larger, let it build in scale, gradually reversing the process. Then relax, breathe, and listen anew. Listen for that same sound and draw the shape again, but this time with your dominant hand and your entire body. Starting small, letting it grow in scale, and then reversing the process. And finish with relax, breathing, and listening anew.
say something about the 3 disciplines involved in deep listening?
Yeah, we do, and there's permeable borders. All of these are connected. The 3 modalities, as we were calling them, are listening and sounding, counting as one, movement, which is often based in qigong and tai chi practices, and listening in dreams. The goal being 24-hour listening. And dreaming is not only what happens when you're asleep. Some of us, it's happened in faculty meetings, but it's access to imagination, to states of imagination, which is not always honored in dominant culture in the United States. So we regard that as a liberatory activity and a way of accessing parts of us that are not so much on the surface, but a way to do that. So yeah, thank you. It's a reminder. And as you might guess, we're up here performing these pieces. These are community works. Years ago, I remember at a conference about various community vocal traditions. I heard a man talk about sacred harp singing. Don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a southern U.S. style of sacred music, but you do it in a square with a big covered dish supper and so forth, and sing for hours, and it's a really rough, wonderful, rough-hewn sort of hymnody. And this man at this learned conference stood up and said, "Well, I found out about this Sacred Harp convention going on, and I wouldn't walk across the street to listen to somebody talk about it, but I'd drive 200 miles to sing it." So that's basically what we're up to here. So we hope that there'll be other occasions when you can join us, in fact, in doing these as well, in addition to the audience participation.
Yeah, the choir has open admission.
Yeah, the Cardew Choir, we welcome new folks, and we're delighted to have you. So
Yeah, if you want to be
we'll do
paired
more.
with us, you're welcome.
Please contact us. That's happy to work with you. Next, Bob Marsh, one of our co-founders, a wonderful visual artist and musician, instrument builder, just marvelous person to enjoy working with. His contribution is 5 movements, 5 sounds. What page is it? That is on page 367 in the book. He's given us 2 columns. One is a column with the directions hop, turn, rock, bow, and wiggle. Column B is zzz, jor, climp, and ha. And for 1 minute, you choose a combination, and we go through all 5 possibilities. So I will chime to let you all know what those possibilities are. Yeah, thank you. That's a good idea.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Bob is a very serious composer. You'll get a sense of that. You have your combinations ready? I get to time and enjoy.
Jor.
Jor. Jor. Jor. Jor. Jor.
And our fourth piece, final part of our set, is a wonderful work titled Impermanence. This is by Nancy Beckman. I can't claim to be an objective observer. I'm married to her. She's not able to be with us tonight, but this is a piece in which the instructions are generate a list of things that change. The ideal number being 108 things that change. And here's a scroll that we, all members of the choir, which is a good many more than we, generated. And David created this beautiful scroll. The second part is one person reads the list aloud while the others do slow walking meditation back and forth in the same path of about 10 to 20 paces. We'll probably do fewer than 20 paces, I imagine, today. Yeah, but we can do this, yes. Each walker rings a small bell occasionally if desired. They may sing glissandi so that the pitch is continually changing. The piece ends when the list has been read through. So, Impermanence by Nancy Beckman. So we'll go this way.
Breath, joy, sorrow, dandelions, war, stars, life, knees, clouds, butterflies, fruit flies, happiness, sunsets, coral reefs, habitats, ozone layer, water, sanity, art spaces, heart valves, promises, dreams, arts funding, governments, shadow, the National Weather Service, national parks, a first kiss, best laid plans, childhood, music, catnip, civil rights, democracy, social security, the U.S. Constitution, institutional religion, Tesla EVs, compassion, loving one another, nests, environmental protection, wildlife, endangered species, living wage, healthcare, forests, peace, serenity, kindness, honesty, truth. Donald fucking Trump. Fresh vegetables. Billionaires. Oligarchs. Equilibrium. Safety. Justice. Free speech. Hope. Quietude. Fragrance. Resilience. Future. Hair color. Freshness. Snow. Interest in Pokemon. Intoxication. Magnetic North. Dinosaurs. Beatlemania. Boners. The sun. Flagellum. Empathy. Humility. Humanity. Cooperation. Sensory experience. Manicure. My lover. My cats. My pain. Sentience. Fortitude. Fear. Perception. Sounds. Physicality. Thoughts. Emotions. Stories. Socks. Dogs. Parents. Blossoms. Anger. Redwoods. Eruptions. Memory. Birdsong. Aquatic life. Beaches. Clocks. Myself.
Yes, you do, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Lori. Thank you, Nancy. So Nancy is a shakuhachi player who lives and teaches in Berkeley, California, is actively involved in the native plants gardening movement, and an activist for change through performance. We have at least two more Cardew Choir gigs coming up in the near future. One is our anniversary celebration on May Day, and that will be at Medicine for Nightmares.
Medicine for
Medicine for
Nightmares, another
Nightmares
wonderful local
here in
bookstore.
the city.
Please buy books at local bookstores.
Yes, do. And the other is the Chapel of the Chimes, as I mentioned, on June 21st, the summer solstice. We're doing a 4-hour version of Pauline's Heart Chant, and we need more people to help us. The audience does join in. No one has to sing for 4 hours, but if you're interested, we'd love to have you. It is a transformative experience. So,
That's a wild one. I don't know if any of you have been there, but it's like a labyrinth of bizarre new music happening in hundreds of small rooms, and you wander around. Yeah, it's an acid trip without the acid. It's kind
Well,
of an
it's a
amazing.
columbarium, so there
by
are
Julia Morgan design.
rooms with, boxes of ashes.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
the architecture is exceptional, the atmosphere is rare, and the music is spectacular.
So appropriate to the columbarium, our next audience participation piece is by Stephanie Lovelace, who is the director of the Center for Deep Listening, someone known to a number of us in this room, a dear friend and wonderful colleague in that. This is titled Prescription for Grieving for Pauline. Bring to mind someone or something you miss. Listen for them or it, around you and inside you. Thank you. We find in deep listening that it's not unusual to go beyond our customary consensus reality and find ourselves connecting with our ancestors and I'd say arguably with the mysteries of yet to come. So participation is a lovely way of imagining, owing a strong lineage and debt to the traditions of Afrofuturism, of imagining the world we want to be in into existence. So you're helping with that, and we're grateful to you. The next piece is by Alexis Lamb, who again was one of my students in the program. Alexis is a composer who worked with natural sounds and the body. This is titled Heartbeat, Hum, Pulse, for any number of meditators. Place your hand over your heart or on your pulse. Listen and learn your body's natural rhythms and nuances. Then sound your rhythms. So place your hand over your heart or wherever you can find your pulse. Listen and learn your body's natural rhythms and nuances. Then sound your rhythms. Thank you. We're coming to the grand finale, which is the set by Pet the Tiger. Before that, we have a piece that all three ensembles will join in. And David, would you kindly show us and introduce your score, which is also in the book, Dream Scene. And other ensemble members, I think we can come up to the performing area, please.
It's on page 272. For those of you following along in the textbook.
Right.
Yeah, so I was particularly interested in this aspect of listening in dreams, and I loved a piece by Pauline called Wind Horse, which was a mandala that you travel through and play. And so I've created a mandala for us to play today that is a movement through the dream spaces. So one of the, you can always come back to listening and listening in your dreams. That's the center. And then we travel out from the center through these various realms. So a dream sound, a dream word, a dream feeling, which may not be a sound or a word or a movement at all. A dream gesture, which will be a movement. A dream image, which could be vocalized or described or simply felt and held in the body. And at the bottom, kind of my favorite, the dream narrative. This is a chance during this piece for us to tell each other our dreams, but we can do it in the context of this beautiful soundscape that's occurring. So I'm really happy to be sharing today with all of you my piece, Dream Scene. Would you like to play show with us? Is your show still warm?
It's not warm enough.
Oh,
I
okay.
can do a little gong or something.
Yeah.
Sure, please.
little gong.
Love to have you. Yes, exactly.
Do a little gong. I got lots of mallets up here.
Do you? I can use one.
You can also,
Like a soft.
I'm willing to share.
Yeah, we are not mallet poor.
Right. That's one of many good things.
Yeah,
David is a local composer who is quite active in
I think we
instrument
might
building
need
as
it.
well.
I think it's helpful for us to have it.
Okay, that's good. And we'll let you cue us as you wish. You'll know when we're done with this perfecto performance.
Yeah, I think we'll all have a sense of when we're done.
Somebody's alarm's going off.
It is, isn't that a nice sound?
Yeah.
It's time for me to take my melatonin and go to bed.
And get maybe the one sound Pauline didn't like.
The dream scene from drinking the melatonin and sleeping?
The alarm.
I think she can put up with it. She's dead.
So how do I navigate again?
Yeah, you start in the middle listening, and then you can move around either out and in, or clockwise around, or then there are ways to get across the circle. And you can always just stop and listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. House.
Grasses.
Go die.
This is kind of a long dream. I might tell all 3 parts, or I might not. I don't know. So, the dream actually starts in my dad's truck. It's like an old pickup truck,
I'm walking
and
in a sort of hilly
there's like
area.
a sink in the back.
the
and it's
countryside,
to
definitely.
unclog the sink in the back of the
It's
pickup
not
truck.
familiar to
Live
me.
here. I don't know
But
how to explain it,
I
but that's
see,
what's going on in my dream.
Just
And there was like
not
sand
very
or grit or something, and I
strip
had
and
to
nondescript
shove something into
cinder
the
block church
Yeah,
building.
eventually I realized there was like a
It's,
flap, a metal flap in the
just
back of the
looks
truck
like
that
it was
opened
put
up
up
that would let all the grit come out.
recent
and then the
times,
sink
not
work
a
again.
lot of
So anyway, we got the sink
design.
working.
It's, I guess,
And we were
beige, maybe
traveling
it's not
to
Did you let the
color.
cat out of the box?
This is
Let the cat out of the box.
Aunt's house.
Let the
Catherine.
cat out of the box.
And he doesn't have an Aunt Catherine, by the way. This is not a person that
Pillets
exists.
that it's sort of
Boy,
all
it's
nestled in
stuck.
trees. And around the back, I see that there's this other.
So we get to Catherine's
Which
house,
has
and it's amazing.
Another
Just
guy,
lemon
I
zest
find.
and
It's a
parmesan.
white house. It's
Quite
decrepit,
aged.
falling apart, and we're extensive. It's a feeder cat. So we go into the building and there's like a beautiful balcony with a railing and like an open atrium space. Spiral staircase that goes into the bottom. And it's not attached to anything, it's falling apart. And we're going down into there, and there the cat was in a rise. So this is like the main character of the story is this cat that doesn't exist. It's Catherine, my dad's cousin's cat, who doesn't exist. So
that implies.
So I meet the cat. The cat jumps up on my shoulder and gets really close to me, and it's got really short black hair. It's huge and lanky and very long legs.
Maybe 3 or 4
And
steps.
it has a tumor on the side of it. That's another hairless cat with a tumor in the shape of a cat. And it hisses at me and it wants to bite me, and I feel okay about it. It's not, I'm not worried. There are a couple other cats in the building. I'm not sure what the other cats are. So we like get to town, and town is this one building,
Equality.
and it's the grocery store and the bank and everything. And I guess we walk up and we want to talk to the clerk at the bank, and everything's done with like QR codes, and people slip each other like QR codes as amounts of payment for things they do in the community for each other. It's like this whole banking system in my brain. And I wanted to know why people didn't steal from each other, and the guy told me it was because if anybody was found stealing from anybody else in the community, they would lose their citizenship to that county, and they have to leave. And no one wanted to lose their houses because the houses were all the same, kind of like very bizarre. Drinks, thank you.
So it's our pleasure to have Pet the Tiger, who have already come on stage, to close the evening, this celebration. Thank you again to everyone, and we're around at least until the power goes out, and delighted to be in touch with you. Thank you so much. Bert and Beckett, thank you for your presence.
Oh yeah. Eric's amazing. All kinds of interesting shows go on here all the time. Really happy to have like a strong independent bookstore in my neighborhood that has really interesting music and readings and events. So please buy books, read. It's the one thing that can keep us sane in times that are kind of wild. So along those lines, we have a couple albums up here. And this one is drawings by Brian Lucas, who's a member of our community. And these drawings have been interpreted by 8 or 9 of the Bay Area's luminary instrumentalists playing invented instruments and extended techniques. It's a wild album. It's really fun. Great to listen to on mushrooms. And then this one, Hail the Traveler, is an album mostly of music for Buto dance. Do I see Christina back there? Hey, Christina. So this music was written mostly with her in mind. These are commissions from like the Asian Art Museum and the De Young and Thingamajigs Festival and some really wonderful. This is the last album that Tom Nunn played on with me, so it's really precious to me. I think this was the last thing that Daniel recorded before he cut his fingers off. Yeah.
What are you trying foreboding?
It's a pretty dark album. It's all about death. Yeah, most of us are. Yeah, Susan Rockcliffe plays on this, and she doesn't play anymore. She has some traumatic brain injury and isn't going to play anymore. Bart Hopkin, amazing character in the Bay Area, right? Wonderful musician. Is not playing anymore. I think this is probably the last thing he's ever going to release. So, really special music that's available, and this tip jar is up here for you to make donations, and I want to make all those donations stay here with the bookstore. So if you want to support your local bookstore tonight, I would really appreciate it if you would take home a CD and leave some money in the jar. I really appreciate that. We're gonna play. We're actually Fitness Husky. I think we change our name every time we play a new piece.
Now we do.
Yeah, so we're Fitness Husky. I'm David Samus. This is Stephen Paris, Dan Gottwald. Our fourth character is Kevin Corcoran, who I thought was in Taiwan, but maybe that's part of China already. I might have missed that announcement. Yeah, that got dark. Sorry, didn't. Tonight we're going to be
They are changing.
playing a text score called Lip Service, and the score is this. Approach a text score as though you would perform it. Now do whatever you want instead. Listen to each other. Often lighter or blotched white at the margins. again. July 13th, 1860. One led me to a frosty hollow in the woods, southwest of Marshall Miles Swamp, where he had found a patch of the shad bush.
As if he's just about to have his picture taken for Victor Records, listening for his master's voice and looking like a living question mark into the great gramophone of puzzling existence. With its wondrous hollow horn, which always seems just about to spout forth some victorious answer to everything.
Thanks for coming out tonight. We are Pet the Tiger playing as Fitness Husky. As a general service announcement, it is 8:43. PG&E is going to cut the power to the building at 9 o'clock. So let's be safe and smart and buy our books before then.
Thank you all.
Yeah, we have a couple gigs coming up. So we're also playing that Medicine for Nightmares gig, as will Thingamajig's performance group. And that's going to be May 1st. And then I'm playing with Wendy Reed with her bird piece at the Chapel of the Chimes on the 21st of June. Do you guys have any gigs coming up? No? Anybody else got gigs coming up in the room?
At the Garden Memory this year?
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Usually I'm.
There's still information, but yes.
Right. Yeah.
Good.
Get any gigs? I know there's music here tomorrow night. Is it poetry or music, Eric?
Tomorrow night, a couple of trios in a row, I think.
A couple trios of music, and then always on the weekend with something good. What's coming up?
What is coming up? So I think Scott Foster's playing guitar with Bruce Ackley on saxophone.
Oh.
And his third player, whose name I should remember, never remember something else at 8:30. I got to skip.
That's perfect. Yeah. So
Thank you.
check the sign out front. Check the website.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Buy books. Yes. Keep listening.
I got some gigs.
Okay.
There's a Wyong in April. Sorry, I don't remember all the dates. It's all in April. There's a Wyong at UC Berkeley.
It's way on.
Wyong is a Javanese Indonesian shadow puppet play.
Stephen builds and leads gamelan ensembles, and
Sorry Rice is playing a small set at a thing for like the Indian Music Festival at the Camden School on April 19th. And then there's a bunch of other gamelan things. That's all I do nowadays. Sorry. And I don't know the dates.
You get handyman services.
Just call me if you need
Thank
to
you.
know. Just text me. I'll
We'll find
find
out.
the dates.
This is marvelous.
So thanks again. That was about the best thing ever. So we'll try to keep
Yeah, Stephen built
back in a few months.
Really beautiful. All this is right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to meet you.
I'm gonna take some pictures of it. Magic ribbon.
Thank you for doing it. It's really What are you using as the mount?
The fipple is just carved into the flute. This piece was built by Peter Whitehead. There's no need to hold on to it.
Here is all the so I
Yeah, the tube is just to get the
good luck. But do have a look. It's definitely a
Yeah, I am blowing it. Yeah, I walk around. I got some BART instruments and a couple